Do you think he's masculine? Would you want this man around you if 10 guys jumped you? He'd run, and you'd have to run with him.
This interview is absolutely going crazy. Over 2 million views in 2 days. But I think a lot of people are getting it wrong. A lot of people want to frame it as Dame Dash coming in and struggling. And on its surface, even the simple retorts that Charlamagne makes about Dame being broke or him having hardships, like, it really doesn't matter because Dame Dash really challenged Charlamagne and DJ Envy in this interview. Lauren LaRosa and Jess were pretty quiet for the most part, but they were letting them hash this out because the interview that they did probably about 10 years ago now, it literally changed the way Charlamagne and DJ Envy handle their business outside of the Breakfast Club. Dame talks about the Breakfast Club being a job. And of course, they've made money now, but are they too big to listen to the OG? Because Dame is coming in here, he's kind of sunning them, but he's making sure that they know who the OG is in this situation.
Say nothing about that. That's what I'd be wondering. We're going to talk about that today.
Let's talk about it. You said
let's
you
do
wanted
this.
A verbal fair one.
I do. And again, I appreciate it. So let's do some boundaries, right?
And that's what it ended up being. It ended up being a fight, for sure. I thought this interview was going to come to blows a couple times.
Because everyone says I yell. What happens is when people cut me off, I talk louder. So if you cut me off, I'm going to talk louder. It's not going to be any disrespect. I just don't like being cut off because I want to be able to complete my point. And I'll do this, give you the same respect. So let's do this. I'd like you to every single thing that you've been saying when I'm not here and question you've had now that I'm here, I'd like you to ask me. You too. Because I saw all the stuff y'all said. I posted it. Just because I'm like, when I see them, we'll talk about it. So what were your questions? You were saying something.
My first question was,
when I see you, I see you. When I see you, I want to see if you're going to stand on what you're saying is what he's saying. And you be the judge. Did they stand on what they said? Have they stood on what they said as a man?
Was about the Paid in Full.
What about it?
Did you own Paid in Full? Like, how did 50 Cent acquire ownership of Paid in Full?
Let me ask you a question. Let's put this in.
That's not how this works, Dan. No.
I'm sorry.
I asked the question.
You just cut me off. Right? Now, I want you to notice every time you do that.
Okay.
And you...
He's dictating the rules of how they talk to him. Like, this is a tactic here, and it's kind of masterful how he does it because he takes control of the interview. Charlamagne is the one supposed to be interviewing him, so he's supposed to be guiding the ship. But Dame comes in with his own thing, and he threatens to walk away anytime that they interrupt him.
They would say I'm bugging if I yell, but please let me complete my sentence. And please don't tell me how we do things. That's going to be a trigger. So I'm just talking normally. Do you remember when 50 Cent was supposed to be putting out a documentary about Puff on Netflix?
Yes.
Where is it?
I think it's still happening.
Yeah, right. He's capping. So I talk a different language than most people. I'm a boss. So number one, there is no rights to be bought. So I knew he was trolling. And you got to remember, Cam tried to have my son come on. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think messing with people's children is all right? Can you answer that question? That's not fair.
No, because you didn't answer the original question.
I did answer it. I just told you. He's capping.
So he didn't get the rights to it.
How would that's the thing is, you know what the problem is?
The problem is how
you cut me off again.
Things. I'm asking you a question for you to answer.
You cut me off again. See this?
No.
Let's take a commercial break.
But yeah, I thought it was odd too that like out of nowhere 50 Cent said me and Cam are teaming up on the Paid in Full show. I'm sure the rights to the families and the respective estates and also AZ Faison could deal directly with 50 Cent outside of anything what Dame Dash is talking about. But the fact that he's talking about taking the rights to Paid in Full as opposed to the life story, that's a direct attack against Dame Dash, and it probably wouldn't be legal without him signing off on it because, of course, once you make a film, you own the copyright to that intellectual property. So could they, unless those rights came up for auction, which they're trying to say maybe in his bankruptcy, maybe they were able to acquire those rights, but it seems like a long shot. I guess 50 Cent, since he's done Power, he pretty much. He's done Power and BMF. Now he's the person to go to for these type of stories. But I don't know. It did seem a little questionable.
How
You cut me off again.
I'm asking you a question for you
You
to
cut me
answer,
off
Dave.
again. See this?
No.
Let's take a commercial break.
Come on,
You
man.
keep cutting me. You don't think that's problematic that you keep cutting people off and you're interviewing them?
Okay.
You're really trying to tell me how to answer, and you expect me not
No,
to
I
be
just want
triggered?
you to answer.
Are you trying to trigger me?
No, I just want you to answer.
Okay, so then let me. Yeah, how can I answer? You keep cutting me off.
Okay.
I told you he doesn't have the rights. No one has the rights. Who are you gonna buy the rights from? I wasn't planning on making Paid in Full about those people. Again, I was making my Paid in Full. And, you don't have to buy the rights. I was actually there. So, 50 trolls. And I was saying, and I felt like you were interrupting me, and I'd like you to answer my question now. Do you feel like I've answered yours?
Yes.
Do you think it's all right to bring people's children involved?
No.
Did you know that Cam called my son and tried to give him money?
I heard you say that.
You think that's okay?
I need to know what he tried to give him money
It doesn't
for.
matter. He's my okay. Do you think that's
He might have
okay?
been offering him a job. I don't know.
I have heard your answer. Do you think it's okay?
I don't know their relationship. Like y'all from the same place.
I got
And
it.
like he might look at Cam as his uncle. I don't know the relationship.
Duly
If there
noted.
is no relationship,
Duly noted.
Then I get it. I
We're
understand.
different.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
Now, if you know Dame from his history, he says he hustles for his last name. So it really hits him to his core. And I think that's why Cam might have reached out to his son to offer him money to see if he would show up for an interview to possibly get under Dame's skin. You know what I mean? Because this is what he values. This is one of his principles. But I think that misses the larger point. This conversation takes turns through masculinity and the conversation around masculinity and Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club being used as a tool, as a representation for black masculinity in the current landscape and on the internet. And Dame Dash says they're doing a disservice to us by how they're operating in this. And he also challenges Charlamagne's sexuality. This is one of the moments, if I was Charlamagne, the interview would have been over. I don't know how Charlamagne stood there and took this. He tried to talk back a little tougher, but obviously we know Dame got them hands. He was a boxer. He was official at some point. Dame actually is standing on what he's saying in front of Charlamagne.
Anyway, the difference between you and I don't think you're a proper representation of the masculine black man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you guys are.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Like, your OG is Wendy Williams. My OG is sitting right here. You see him? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you why he's my OG. Because he killed anybody or any of those things. He just taught me how to be a better man.
Wendy's not my OG.
Can you
That's
stop?
funny, though.
Can you stop?
Wendy Williams is your OG.
Wasn't she your boss?
Yeah, at one point.
So
yeah.
she was your OG. She put you on, and you should give her grace. And you should also give her props out of respect.
That's interesting. Wendy Williams is your OG. Charlamagne started off on Wendy Williams' show, on a radio show, as a co-host. But that really does start his trajectory into this. And with a background in gossip, like, he's going to be the antithesis to anything that Dame is talking about representing masculinity. Charlamagne tries to laugh it off and regain composure, but I think that really hits him. That really hits him in a place that he lives, because now he's got to hear that. Anytime somebody has something to say to him, now they're going to be like, well, your OG is Wendy Williams, right? Correct? This is almost like are you finished or y'all done? Like, this is Baby rolling up the Breakfast Club and punking them. Dame seems to be willing to back up what he's talking about. So he talks about them not being a proper representation of a masculine black man. Is that true? Because I think a lot of times people equate financial success and being successful in the business as some sort of badge of honor or masculinity, or they think being married is what makes you a man. And I think it really comes down more to honor, and it comes down to working for something outside of yourself, So those things do fall under it, but does Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club really represent this? Does Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club? Because I think he has a point. I think they have been a negative impact on masculinity by pushing certain agendas and you know, you even think through the election, you know, how they were in the bag at one point because they wanted to get interviews, you know, like the loyalty's all over the place. And so I wonder if that's what Dame is touching on, because he's actually making a good point about that. And if your OG is Wendy Williams, you'll do anything for the paper.
Give her props out of respect.
Oh,
But because we have different trauma, like we're different. Like I'm not the kind of guy that would, like, I'd rather get my ass whipped than run. But you're proud that you ran.
Yeah.
I'd rather get my ass whipped. Let me ask you a question, Dan. You ever ran from a fight? No. What would happen if y'all heard that I ran from a fight? That's a masculine way of doing things. Now, you don't see it that way. You like to play like games. Like, I'm not quite, because when you say kids, I was like, and it ain't no disrespect, but I kind of think you're gay. You just act a little gay.
You got a problem with gay people?
Not at all.
Now, this is one of the things that Charlamagne has to deal with. The infamous moment where he's walking into work and some of the goons, I think allegedly sent by Little Kim and those folks, they ask him if they can get a drop. You know, a drop is like, back in the day, it was like a shout out. So you could, you know, shout out their shout out whatever they were trying to sell. So they have a camera in front of him. And then somebody comes up and swings on Charlamagne. Charlamagne ducks and runs for cover inside of the building. Dame Dash is talking about that being a similar moment in Charlamagne's masculine journey in the public. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what Charlamagne does behind the scenes, you know. But what Dame Dash says about how he would have operated in that situation brings light onto what he's talking about this masculinity that Charlamagne is not projecting. But what he says next takes the disrespect to a whole nother level.
What would happen if y'all heard that I ran from a fight? That's a masculine way of doing things. Now, you don't see it that way. You like to play like games. Like, I'm not quite, because when you say kids, I was like, and it ain't no disrespect, but I kind of think you're gay. You just act a little gay.
You got a problem with gay people?
Not at all. I've got a problem with people that pretend they're not gay.
So Charlamagne automatically tries to line Dame up with that statement to make him a target for maybe the LGBT community. Dame is making it very clear. I don't have a problem with gay people, but what I think you're doing and what I think you've done, allegedly, is gay. That's a huge statement to make in any man's face, a grown man's face. Like, that's what I say. The interview would have been over right there, 25 minutes in, because he's challenging you on a level you're not even recognizing, Charlamagne. He just disrespected you. And it's not, like he said, it's not about being uncomfortable in your sexuality. It's about the fact that you're going to put that on my name and I'm sitting here right in front of you. In Dame's logic, he's saying this is one of the ultimate ways I can disrespect you to your face. And Charlamagne, well, let's see how Charlamagne takes it.
So let me tell you why.
But
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
This is hilarious. I love
you're
what
gay.
he's doing. This is hilarious.
So what I'm saying is, you might, because you started in gossip, which is, you know, is very feminine, and you are acting like, you know, there's some degree of like, you want people to listen to you, and that we want people that represent masculinity, because men need to be doing what they need to do as men. They don't need to be worried about girl stuff, period.
What's
so
girl stuff?
Talking about people that aren't in the room, that don't have anything to do with them, saying things confidently in front of millions of people and not saying anything. You know, like.
Now, I will disagree with him. A lot of people try to frame any conversation on pop culture on the internet as gossip. And I think that is a misstep. What Charlamagne does, is it actually gossip? Not necessarily. I mean, it can be viewed as such through the lens that you're speaking about other people. But I mean, what is the news? Are we going to call the news the gossip because they cover trending topics? Are we going to not cover the Black community at all because we don't want to talk about these topics? You know, and you know, the algorithm does feed into these things. So, you know, sensational topics will get more views, topics about people that are trending. So I think a lot of people misinterpret trying to actually game the system and follow trending topics as trying to follow gossip. When in fact, the only way you get to hear certain people is if they frame other people in their content. You know, if you talk about a celebrity, then you get more traction. This is 21st century attention arbitrage. You get the attention based on who you can also comment on.
You know how many times I've seen people punk you? I would never let anybody talk to me certain way. I'd rather get my ass whipped. That's where we're different. We got different trauma. So you can't really look through my eyes because you do things different.
You that much?
No, do I look bothered?
Yeah.
I'm bothered
Actually, you do.
What I'm bothered about is you're speaking in front of people confidently and you don't have the experience or the knowledge. And also, I'm afraid that white people think that we act like you. You're not.
Wow. Now he's treading in dangerous territory, obviously, because a lot of people are going to get their back up because he's worried about how white people are perceiving black people. But I think the point still remains. Like, what is our face to the world? Is Charlamagne a good representation of that? You know, and I think Dame, rightfully so, once again, he's changing trajectories of their whole careers. I think these words are going to stick with Charlamagne. This interaction is going to stick with Charlamagne. This challenge is going to stick with Charlamagne because he's going to have to now think about this when he's doing his interactions. Is he going to continue getting punked up there, as Dame said, or is he going to do something different?
But like, you know what's bugging me out?
Before, what do you mean act like him? I just want you to
Yeah, I want to know.
I'm going to say, so the way you keep interrupting me, the way you keep saying things that aren't true but don't know.
Like what? What did I say that's not true?
Let me say what I'm saying. I was still talking. Okay? So, because when y'all do that, I forget what I'm going to say because I be like, da-da-da.
You're not saying shit,
No,
Dame.
you don't think, of course you don't think that. I think you're gay.
That's fine.
I do. I'm not going to lie. After the Puff stuff, cause let me say this. This is my assessment. I've never heard you say one thing bad about Jay-Z, not one.
He's not in the room. You shouldn't talk about him.
Don't tell me what to do.
You said you shouldn't talk about men
Now
when they're not in the room.
you're interrupting me.
Now you're doing the girl stuff.
I know him. I'm giving you an
example.
example, right?
You used to know him.
Can I talk? You're upset. Can I talk? Can I talk?
Petty. You used to know him. Everybody knows Dame Dash and Jay-Z's relationship as rocky as it's been, you know, and people want to say that Dame is somehow jealous. Dame is somehow jealous of Jay-Z, and that's why their relationship is as rocky as it is. But they've got a lot of stuff they need to work out together. That doesn't have anything to do with you, Charlamagne. Charlamagne is up there literally wearing a Rock Nation t-shirt at the moment that he says he bought. Like, you would think at this point, as much, you know, wearing the hats and wearing the shirts, especially in this interview, when you know Dame is coming up there, you're basically kind of trying to insult him by wearing it, it seems. You could have picked a different shirt, right? But you would think also the Rock Nation would be sending Charlamagne some merch. No, Charlamagne's out here buying the merch. Like, at this point, why isn't Charlamagne wearing his own brand? But this is where the conversation goes off the rails and gets really disrespectful.
But you're just not masculine. So, again, letting people yell at you like that is not masculine. And a woman, do you think he's masculine? Would you want this man around you if 10 guys jumped you? He'd run, and you'd have to run with him. I like my women to feel safe when they're around me. I don't tell people, and I'm not saying that's your way, but you're just not masculine. I've seen him run. I looked at a whole reel of, there's like a thing that says how many people bark. There's stuff that how many times you talk about other people's genitals. You real masculine men don't do that. You said that some guys was throwing you kisses because they liked your paws butt, and you went back. That's gay.
Why do you have such a problem with gay
I don't have a
people?
problem. I have a problem with you. Wait. No.
Crazy,
yeah, that is why I
man.
pause. There's a lot of people like you.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of people like you that are gay that don't that pretend they're not, and that's not fair because you're running around.
Not your
Stop.
business.
You're here. You're representing a black man, and I don't want white
Black
people.
men can't be gay?
You're representing.
Hold on. Answer the question. Black men can't be gay?
Black
Dame?
men that are gay should say they're gay.
Well, I'm not gay.
You are. You're gay. Anyway, Now let me talk
Then
to
you're
you.
broke.
Let me
If
ask
I'm
you.
gay, you're broke.
If I'm
Charlamagne tried to hit back by saying he's broke. I think it's clear what his message was here. And that was all you had to say was that he's broke. When he's proven he still has assets, but, you know, like filing bankruptcy can be a strategy for some people. And I'm pretty sure Charlamagne knows that.
But repo.
but you're getting investigated for a RICO.
Am I?
That's
Or
what
is
I'm
that
saying.
Patty?
You're listening to the internet.
That's
Dan.
why I'm
Patty,
talking to you
This is
about it.
gossip.
That's what I'm talking to you about.
It's
Wait.
internet gossip.
How should I know? I never heard of these.
So when we ask the question,
Yo, I'm
you can't
talking to him
deny
now.
it.
See what you're doing? Girls do that. Let me say this. You acting like a girl.
You move like an old auntie. You an old Harlem auntie.
I could
yo.
punch you right in your face
Why?
like a grown man. I won't.
And then we gonna
And you
fight.
won't do shit.
Dame, this is with the
That's
chatty
not going.
patty. So
Now,
just
let's
so
not
you
get
know, because I knew you was going to say
Nah,
Words
I've
is
seen
one
you
thing.
run.
Yes.
That's it. I've
That
seen
was
you.
before the guy.
I'm not
Let's
saying
be
I will.
respectful. Let's
I'm
be
saying
respectful.
no. Then
Let's be respectful.
your version of respectful is different than mine. We were on the street right now and you were talking like that. I would have fucked you up.
And you
But
got
I'm not
beat
going to
up.
do that. Nah, I wouldn't have got beat up.
But
I
Dame,
know I wouldn't have got beat up. Let's end this. So let me say one more thing before I leave.
I have so many questions.
All right. Oh, you're right.
How you want to leave? You can't get in your emotions and want to leave, Dame.
No, what I'm saying is when you interrupt me and you say certain things, where I'm from, the masculine man will fuck you up.
Yeah,
but
you said
because
you gonna
wait,
punch
let me
me in my
finish.
face
No,
and
I
let
didn't.
you know
I
that's
said
not gonna happen.
I didn't say I said I could, and you wouldn't do anything.
And we gonna fight.
I didn't see that on tape. You ran.
Yeah, because it was 4 guys, but that's cool.
I
But-
fought.
but the third
Wait.
one-
Ask what happened when 30 guys jumped me.
Respect.
I got that ass whipping,
Respect.
but I fucked them niggas up.
I think it's been some head trauma ever since.
Yeah. Hey, yo, pause. Come
If
on.
we have, okay.
Head trauma. But I'm going to leave it there, man. Go check out the rest of the video on the Breakfast Club's channel. Yeah, man. What do y'all think, man? Is Charlamagne a good representation, and the Breakfast Club, are they a good representation of black men out here writ large? Are they causing more harm than good? I think it could be said. I think we went through an era and we're just coming out of it, of certain people being propped up in the media, and you're supposed to believe that these people are really cool. You're supposed to believe that these people are really winning. But slowly but surely, this era is starting to weed those people out. And I think this conversation, we're going to look back on it and we're going to be like, you know what? Dame had a point. Just because you make millions doing whatever side businesses does not necessarily mean you want to be somebody that we put out there for black men to emulate. And as we know, in the past few years, since the Cat Williams interview and, you know, the Diddy trial and all types of stuff, things aren't as they seem. And a lot of people are being exposed. Shout out to Dame. You know, Dame was kind of played a little rope-a-dope. You know, he came up there with the eye patch on in the interview and his arm in a sling. And it was this whole thing. He broke it down that this was a allusion to The Godfather. It was a tactic that he pulled from the movie The Godfather and Michael Corleone, which is one of my favorite sequels. I'm not even going to count that third one, but I think Dame Dash has a lot to offer still. And, you know, he's an interesting character and obviously a good interview. He's always going viral whenever he gets on the Breakfast Club. So I think that's why they keep having him back. And once again, this will be one of the top interviews of 2025 so far. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Fawcett Media.